Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today the Houston Texans are re-signing Kurt Hinish, who was a very solid part for this Houston Texans defensive line this season and really the last 3 seasons. 10 games for Kurt Hinish this season. He had 12 tackles and 2 tackles for loss, but he played a bigger role for the Houston Texans defense in 2023, playing 17 games, 1 start, 1 pass defense, 1 sack, 22 tackles, and 2 tackles for loss with 2 QB hits in 2023. 2022 with the Texans defense, he had 15 games, 3 starts, 1 sack, 23 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 2 QB hits. He hasn't been amazing, but he's been a solid bench player that can come in for the Houston Texans and be just a rotation defensive tackle for the Texans team. And look, I think there's a chance that the Texans might need Kurt Hinish more next season. You have a couple defensive tackles that were on the roster last year that are going into free agency, and so that will be interesting to see going into the offseason. I'm sure the Texans will add to the defensive tackle room. I think that's one of the weakest things in this defensive line. The defensive line is very strong, but mainly on the defensive end side. So I'd like to see the Texans add more to the defensive tackle room. But I really love the Texans bringing back Kurt Hinish. I think he brings great energy to the team, and he's very cheap. This is a $1.8 million deal. Also want to note, with the Houston Texans re-signing Kurt Hinish and Dre Ungabalaway in the last 2 days, and also taking on the contract of Christian Kirk today when they traded a 7th-round pick for him, the Texans are now back in the negative in cap space. That's not good. If you want to see the Texans be able to make more moves, maybe the Texans need to find some more ways to clear cap space. They did it with restructuring Nico Collins' contract, which was huge in order to clear some cap space. It's time in my opinion, it's time to figure out to work out some other ways for this Houston Texans team to clear some cap space. I have some ideas, cut Kenyon Green. I would also say try to restructure not Titus Howard's contract, which that wouldn't be terrible. But try to restructure Tunsil's contract. Cut Shaq Mason. I don't like this possibility, but here's a possibility. Cut Dalton Schultz. Honestly, I wouldn't and we'd become the Houston Jaguars if this happened. But here's a possibility I wouldn't mind. Cutting Dalton Schultz and signing Evan Ingram. I think it sure as hell be cheaper than what the Texans are paying Dalton Schultz now to sign Evan Ingram, and then the Texans would basically just become the Houston Jags. But that could be one option. The Texans need to figure out more ways to clear some money. I think the number one option has to be restructuring Tunsil's contract, but see if that's something they do. But let me know your thoughts on the Texans re-signing in the comment section. Peace out. Go Texans.